Well, it seems the producers are listening to what the market wants. In today's video, I want to share with you my thoughts about Rioch Pentax 17 and why I would like to buy it and what is my biggest problem, why I would not buy this camera. Because looking at it, looking at the reviews, I've discovered something that is very important, something that may stop many users for buying the camera. It's very, very important. So let's talk about this now. Hi there, Tudor Matescu here. I have here an old Rioch Pentax camera, Rioch AF5. It's a great camera, plastic build, and I'll show you pictures with this camera and with other film cameras that I've used. But in today's video, I want to address my thoughts about Pentax 17 and what I like about the camera, what I don't like, and what is the biggest problem that camera may have. And I didn't see it on many reviews or other articles. Probably it's there, but of course, when the reviewers are making reviews, they are shrinking a problem that can be very big, like Lumix S9 electronic shutter. We have here a possible problem. I'm not saying it's a problem, but a possible problem that I saw it addressed, and I will address it. And we will see in the future if this camera in real world has this problem. Because if the camera has this problem, then I'm sorry, it's a no-buy. It's a no-buy. So let's talk first about the design of the camera. Well, I'm really liking it. Let's be serious, I'm really liking it. I'm loving it. It's looking like an X100V and even better, because it's a film camera. It has lots of dials and manual controls. Manual controls, we'll talk also about the manual controls of this camera because it's very interesting what Rioch did. I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying it's very interesting. It's manual, but it's not manual. But we'll talk at that chapter. So I'm liking the design a lot. I'm really liking it. I'm liking the fact that they put a fork on the lens, very hipstery, very cool. So hipstery looking camera, 10 out of 10. So regarding design of this camera, I really think it's innovative and I'm really liking the design and what they've did. So I think that they are really addressing the market for this type of camera very well by design. So hipstery pictures, fashion pictures, and so on. So a very usable camera for this kind of photography regarding the design. Now I want to address the lens. The lens, for my eyes, for the pictures that I was able to see online, are very good. The lens seems to be very sharp, very good, modern looking. And of course, if you don't know till now, it's a half frame camera. So Pentax 17 being a half frame camera, this means you'll get double the exposure on your film roll. So this is very important because the film prices are pretty big and this will help you cut down the prices when using film, and you have enough resolution for social media, for posting, and so on. Another big advantage of this camera in this social media era, where TikTok users, Instagram users are wanting taller pictures, so vertical pictures, is that you shoot by holding this camera in horizontal mode, vertical pictures. Of course, this is not new, but this is a more professional camera compared to other half frames options that are out there. So I'm really liking it here. So they are addressing very well this market, and also, how I've said, I'm liking the image quality for my eyes, for what I was able to see that this lens is rendering. So really liking what they've did till now. But let's get to the controls of this camera. I think this is where the things are pretty tricky, because we are talking about semi-auto modes, but you really must read the manual very well to understand what these modes are doing and how these modes are making the settings in your camera. You don't have an ISO detection sensor, so you must manually set the ISO of your film camera. So you really need to have some expertise here. So this is where I'm starting to lose and to understand this camera, because you have semi-auto modes, and I will not enter into discussing these modes because other reviewers discussed them and they are pretty hard to remember. In P white mode you have some settings, in P golden mode you have other settings, in auto mode you have a fixed zone focusing setting, and so on. So you really need to stay with the manual to be able to use this camera. So it's not a camera for a beginner, if you are asking me. It's a camera for someone who really understands photography, who has time to read the manual, and who has time to make the settings. So this is where they are losing me. Why they didn't offer a classical shutter speed, a classic aperturing, and so on. So the exposure triangle. It would have been simpler for any user, even a beginner, to learn the manual settings and to get the camera working. So I'm really baffled how the camera will work in real world use if you don't remember what these settings and P modes and auto modes are doing to your picture. So you really need to understand these semi-auto modes to remember them and to make the right settings. So you'll fiddle with the camera, I think even more than you'll fiddle with a manual focusing camera, or anyway, at least as you will fiddle with a manual focusing camera, like Leica M6. So a Leica camera, aperturing, shutter speed, and ISO. These auto modes are pretty tricky, and this is where this camera is losing it for me, and I'm not saying I don't like it, I'm just saying I need to learn the camera even more than I need to learn a manual focusing camera or a true auto camera, because you have some limitations. You have limitations regarding shutter speed, you have limitations regarding aperture settings of the lens, and so on. So if you want to shoot the lens at f3.5, you must set this dial at bokeh mode. So when it's low light, it's interesting. I'm not saying it's not interesting, it's a bold move to fiddle so much with this camera to get what you want, and you will not know what you will get till you will develop the film. Next, I'm really liking that they've put lots of attention into detail. So I'm liking that you can put what film you are shooting in the camera, so you'll know here what film you are shooting it. I'm liking the optical viewfinder, and also you really need to learn the LEDs, what they are telling to you when they will blink depending on the light and on the settings. So you really need to use this camera with a manual near you to get it right. Also, I'm liking the grip, the design, the lens, the textures, all is looking great. Also, this isn't plasticky, it's magnesium alloy, but the camera being very light, I understand that the alloy, it is very thin, and the reviewers also accuse some thin plastic parts, but I don't know how the camera will work in time, but we'll get to a problem that it's a big problem. Next, you have lots of strap options, so another great thing, so lots of attention to details, and I'm really liking this. I'm really liking this till we are getting to the problem. So the problem was addressed by the Petapixel reviewers in a very short second, where Jordan said that the camera has a delay when you are taking the picture. So it's not instantly. It's not instantly. So you press the shutter button to take the picture, and the camera doesn't take the picture. It's a short delay. I understand that the lens is moving a little, anyway, a short delay. This doesn't happen to me with the old Rioch film camera, and also this doesn't happen to me with Leica or with any other camera. I don't have any delay when I'm pressing the shutter button, especially with a manual focusing camera. So when I'm using Rioch GR3X and other cameras in full manual mode, I don't have any lag. Having a lag with such a camera, a premium camera because of the price, I think it's a problem. I don't think the hipsters will have problems with this, but for me, that I like to shoot street photography and I want my camera to take the picture when I press the shutter button to take the decisive moment, this is a problem. So this is the problem, and it was addressed very short in a 1 second in the Petapixel video review. You can check it out, and I wasn't able to see this problem reported on other channels. So we must see real world reviews if that delay, it was just a bug that happened, if it was just a pre-production camera and had that problem, or it's a recurring problem and you really have a delay when taking the shot. If you have a delay when taking a shot for such a nice looking camera, I think we have a problem. Personally, I would not buy it for that delay. But if that delay isn't there and the camera works like any normal camera without feeling there it's a delay, I think it's a great addition what Pentax did, and I'm really liking it. I'm liking the fact that they had the courage to make a new manual camera that it's working in so many semi-auto modes. It's very interesting. It's a new concept. So it's a camera to play with it. It's a camera that can be used by hipsters, by fashion photographers, and by photographers that want to play with such a camera. I'm liking it. It's unique, and this is a good thing. But also there are problems with this camera, like film cost. Personally, I'm liking film, but the film cost and waiting for the film and scanning the film. This is where film is losing it for me. Probably Rioch should make an accessory so you can auto scan the film to have sense in this world where we want instant results or results that we can share online faster. In the end, I'm liking it a lot. It's a new bold move, and I really congratulate Rioch for this. I would really like to put my hands on it, but what makes me have my guard raised is that delay in taking pictures. So I hope that delay isn't there, and we will see a great camera, a great film camera on the market. Tell me what you think about this camera, and tell me if you think the price is okay for such an interesting and unique concept like Rioch Pentax 17. Subscribe to my channel, check my next video, subscribe to my newsletter for more photography tips and tricks, leave me your comments, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.